Now, welcome to the review. Now, before we start, I'm just going to let you know there's going to be a lot of pauses. There's going to be a lot of cutscenes. There's going to be a lot of things happening, right? But you're a member and you deserve the best, so I'm going to give you the best. Now, if you decide to leave a tip throughout this video, do so, because this video cannot be monetized, won't be monetized. I won't get a nickel from this video, but this video is for you guys. And remember, I'm going to take this logo and I'm going to throw it around south of midnight. And I'm going to tell you, try to play the Game Pass because it's in Game Pass, baby. Let's go.
Death don't have no mercy in this land. Death don't have no mercy in this land. He'll come to your house and it won't stay long. You look in the bed and somebody'll be gone. Death don't have no mercy in this land.
Shaking bones. Been a while. So, you remember that favor you owe me? I'm looking for a creature. Huge, sneaky, teeth like knives. No? Well, hey, how about you guys? No? Nobody? Not helpful. Sneaky.
Well, they come to your house and it won't stay long. Well, you look in the bed and somebody'll be gone. They're gonna give you time to get ready in this land.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with a special edition, a review. Now, Compulsion Games we know from We Happy Few and Contrast. We're going to get to know Compulsion Games with the story of Hazel from South of Midnight. Now, I got to give you a caveat. The views and expressions based off of this review is solely Xbox Frontline News and Lord King David's and not Compulsion Games. All right? So, with that out the way, I want you to know that I'm a proud American. And that has to be said. I'm not a proud Afro-American. I'm a proud American. I don't think that there's a color line when it comes to being American. I have family. My father's half of the family is from the Deep South. And we're from Murfreesboro, North Carolina. It's right next to Ohoskie, North Carolina. And it's very rich in the South with South laws and tradition. The folklore is incredible. The stories that you hear. I got stories that I can tell about the supernatural and stuff like that from my times being there. So, to get a game that is unapologetically Southern, and we know what went into the Southern history of the South. We can talk about slavery, racism, and all type of things that is intertwined into the fabric, the tapestry, if you will, when it comes to the South. Yes, we are ashamed of our history. And we have whispers and conversations behind closed doors about the travesties of the past. And if you listen very closely, sometimes at night, you can hear the souls of those who were there. Now, this is not hyperbole. This is factual nature, right? But again, this is my review of a game that I thought that no company would ever have the fortitude to attempt, achieve, and deliver. And my true respects go to Compulsion Games in the highest regard. Now, I'm going to break the segments down into different parts of what I feel makes sense to you guys. Right now, this is a spoiler-free review. I'm going to give you a spoiler-filled review at some point, but I want enough people to have played the game, to have understood what the assignment was, and then get to us dissecting this great, deep, rich game. Now, I do say this, when attempting to play this game, please try to be a completionist. The game itself rewards the individual who decides to look under every rock, check every corner, look at every picture, touch everything in order to gain a greater understanding of the story. Each section, each chapter is broken down into pieces of stories that come together as a whole. It's a tapestry, and you will hear me use that a lot because as a weaver, which Hazel realizes and she becomes the next weaver in Prospero, a fictional town in Southern law, this tapestry is what she mends and not controls, but helps weave and hold together and fix. So, please read everything that you can in order to get a better understanding of the stories from each section. Now, we're going to start off with story. This story is so rich. It's a story of desperation. It's a story of loss. It's a story that is woven by many different stories, but the story of Hazel is a story of regret, desperation, and hope. She has the wherewithal to try to achieve what seems to be impossible. This is a coming of age game for a young girl to go from a naive young child that doesn't really know how the world works, just understands surface level things. Well, by the time you get to the end of her journey, she has grown into a young woman where she understands things. She understands the burdens and the pressures of life that will cause people to have these dark secrets, these tangles, if you will. And her as a weaver, it's her job to untangle all of this mess, these feelings, these issues, these things that are trapped in the world. This is her job. You will meet many different characters along the way, and every character that Hazel meets has something that she needs to help mend after she becomes a weaver. After she becomes a weaver, you understand that the town itself is emanating a lot of stigma, a lot of pain. There's a lot of knots that she has to unravel and mend and twist and fix. So you will come across a lot of mythical creatures in this Southern folklore that Hazel will have to take on, tackle, and come to the bottom of what's the issue. Why are they there? Now, you go through all of these chapters, and I'm not going to tell you how many chapters because I don't want you to know. I want it to be a surprise for you. But the story part of it is so rich and so engrossing. You get a sense of who everyone is and why everyone is and how they are. This is a wonderful game brought to you by the incredible minds at Compulsion. The storyboard itself is a strong backbone for a game that is going to need that going forward. At no point in time did I feel the story let me down. Gameplay. Now, gameplay is going to consist of combat, is going to consist of traversal, is going to consist of platforming, is going to consist of adventuring and secrets to find. A lot of secrets that you will find inside the world will either talk to you sometimes, you will have to read, but you have to find these secrets, and each level consists of different secrets. Now, the traversal is broken up into many different ways. The game will teach you from beginning to end of the game that you will have to learn different aspects of wall running, platforming, gliding, weaving to get from point A to point B. And you have to string all of these attributes that you've learned and skills together in order to make the game go. Now, the traversal that you learn in the beginning is the same traversal that you will be learning at the end. They will just give you different avenues to use the traversals at the end. It gets progressively harder to get past certain levels. Now, is it monumentous? Not if you practice the skills. Platform heavy in this game. The combat is on a push-pull system. The push-pull system is sometimes you can push the enemies away. Sometimes you can bring them to you. It's timing based. You can possess some of the characters with some of the moves that you do have. It's tier based and level based. You can level up each combat style, if you will. but they never truly evolve past their initial inception. So that's probably a form of criticism to it. What you see is what you get. You just get a more powerful version of what you have. But sometimes less is more, and making what you have more powerful goes a long way. Now, the combat aspect is, it's a little bit different, right? Because you have a set number of Hanks. They're called Hanks. Those are the creatures that you help relieve their pain in this world. So technically you're fighting them, but you're not fighting them. You're liberating them, right? Because you got to get the stigma out of this world and allow them to move on. And why are they here? So again, they are here to attack you. You are here to defend. You walk into an area and you notice it's a battle area. You clear this up. You go to the next section. That's kind of how it goes. And it's kind of repetitive throughout the game. This happens. Now, you have basic number of characters that will actually attack you, basic number of styles. As the game progressively gets into deeper chapters, you will get different variants that will pop up, but they kind of all look the same and they have different attributes to attack you. They do have tells, they do have charge ups, they do have unblockables as far as the creatures go. Same thing with Hazel. Hazel do have charges, she do have unblockables, and she does have a lot of set moves. So you're pretty much even when it comes to that aspect of it. Now, when we're talking about the overarching style of gameplay, now remember this game is a AA game. So most of the combat, most of the traversal, most of the gameplay is pretty much standard. You do have mantling up on objects. You do have the ability to see things in the past and make them tangible, so you can actually climb on something, push a block that does have a timer, so it will disappear over a period of time. And it's making the immaterial material. I found that to be an incredible part of her weaving technique. And then you do have Crouton. Crouton is your wonderful stuffed animal that you're able to send into areas that you can't reach. And Crouton is not just useful for that. Crouton will help you in battle. So that's the gameplay aspect of it. Is simplistic yet intricate. It's not overwhelming, and it doesn't evolve past what you already have once you unlock everything. But in some type of way, it makes sense. It works for this game, so it doesn't complicate your life when you have to run, because there are running sequences at the end of major chapters where you fight a boss. Graphics. It's based off of the Unreal Engine 4, I believe. And I think it's at the last one. Whatever the last update for Unreal Engine 4 is, it's based off of that. So the graphics kind of look like a Fortnite-ish type of graphics. Very lush, a lot of HDR, a lot of crisp landscapes. You do get the feeling that the world is living and breathing. You do get a chance to see everything that they want to portray to you, because there's other aspects of the game when you reach the different levels that do a great interpretation of the world for you to see. Now, you have the ability to do stop motion. Stop motion is brought to you very well. It's dope. It looks incredible. But I have to tell you this. You can turn it off. If you don't like the stop motion, you can turn it off. But in every cutscene, stop motion will still play. Now, the cutscenes are very integral to the storyline. This game is very story-based. So, again, graphics, top-notch. For a AA game, outstanding, right? At the end of the day, you want to know if there's clipping, stuttering. I didn't come across any of that stuff. You may have a little bit of pop-up here and there. But other than that, the game itself is very solid. The atmosphere is very good. Hazel depiction and the characters in the world comes across great.
There's a fine line between mercy and justice. Ain't that right, Hazel Flood? You chose a hard road for yourself.
Hazel, please, it isn't safe.
We got a long journey ahead.
I'm always fast enough.
It's not safe out there, Hazel. If I was the one missing, she wouldn't stop looking.
Crouton?
What the? And this ain't even the weirdest thing I've seen today.
I'm seeing these things.
You can see strands. And now you're looking for a creature. You're a weaver, aren't you?
Hello?
There's something big out there.
Take this and go find your mama.
I'll come back.
You better. I gotta know how this tale of Hazel ends. Hazel, no!
This ends now. Mama?
Boss battles. Each boss has their own accompanying song. Each boss has its own huge story wrapped around it. Each boss have their own patterns, mechanisms, and functions. Every boss doesn't fight the same. Every boss doesn't play the same. Every boss is different. So you have to defeat the bosses differently. You have to look at the patterns. You have to see exactly what it is. You have to listen to the audio and see the visual cues. I thought the bosses were done great. One boss I felt was the best boss in the game, and that's further on in the game. I felt that another boss was kind of underwhelming because the build up to it I thought was going to be greater than, especially seeing that one of the bosses that I did face was an immense, incredible boss fight. We look for those as payoffs in these type of games, if you will. So, again, when it comes to boss fights, I think that everything was done well, but I just thought one boss needed to have that moment, and I didn't think that it got that moment. So, yeah. My overall rating in the game. Now, I'm going to have to be perfectly honest. I am going to rate it a whole lot higher because I didn't think that the game will tackle some of the things that it did tackle. Now, should the game have an M rating? Yeah. Why it didn't get an M rating was because you can go through the game without picking up any of the lore in the game, any of the reading, any of the signs, getting the full story. You can do that. So it's very easy for a person to skip a lot of the story. But if you do it, if you do take the time out, the game does reward you. So that within itself, I'm happy that they did do what they did. I am pleased that they did do what they did. You gave voices to people that did not have voices. You spoke of things that people stopped speaking about. There's stories that should be heard and told and never forgotten. So, because if we forget about what our past was, we will be doomed to repeat it. The story of Hazel going through this journey, helping people relieve their pain and their trauma in this world, while desperately trying to see her journey through, is an immense story. It is an immense game, tied together by wonderful graphics and a soundtrack that is criminally underrated, because this soundtrack, and today I'm going to leave you with a special treat. And you tell me, because this song is in the game, how does this song hit? This is one of the greatest soundtracks I've ever come across in a game. Masterclass. An incredible listening soundtrack. I don't listen to video game music. This game itself has made me a video game music listener, if you will. They have achieved something that I didn't think that was possible. Now, does the game become repetitive in some aspects? Combat becomes repetitive, and the run sequences become a little repetitive. They can get as hard as possible, but they become a little repetitive. I understand. The other strengths that you do have holds up this project. I give this game an 8 out of 10 because it does become a little repetitive at points. The combat could be a little bit more diverse, and there's potential for the game to be more. South of Midnight is a game that you should either try, definitely buy, and support. It's not a game about color. It's a game about life and rich and poor. You get a chance to see the difference between rich and poor. That's the true fight. That's the fight, that the unseen fight. The fight that we forgot about, too busy arguing with one another over the color of our skin. My skin color. I'm brown on this side and pink on this side. Really? So what are we fighting about? And at the end of the day, we're all the same thing. So remember, this game isn't about color. Though color does come up in the game, but it comes up in a game based off of the rich and the poor. So if this is something that you like, and this is for members, and I love you guys. I did this for you guys. Now there's going to be a version of this going out without all the bells and whistles, but you guys got this version of the South of Midnight Review. I hope you enjoyed it. And I promise that I left you with something. So please make sure you tune in and listen to this, because this song is in the game.
Now, most of the strange creatures of the South don't like to show themselves to normal folk. But even the most careful of critters can't help but get spotted every now and again. That's what happened with the Altamaha, a river monster who's been sighted on and off for more than 100 years. From time to time, you'll hear the rivers here sing the saddest of all lullabies, like despair, longing, and loss. And if you listen too closely for too long, you'll be walking right into the water.
Slumber, child, slumber, and dream, dream, dream. Let the river carry you back to me. Dream, my baby, 'cause mama will be there in the morning. Last night under bright strange stars, we left behind the midnight caves, you and me, running toward a promised land. Mama will be there in the morning. Trust nothing and no one in this strange, strange land. Be a mouse and do not use your voice. River tore us apart, but I'm not too far, 'cause mama will be there in the morning. Do you still dream? Do you? Do you sleep still? I fill my pockets full of stones and sing. The river will flow and the sun will shine, 'cause mama will be there in the morning. You may not know me because I've changed, but mama will not stop looking for her baby. When the river takes, the river gives, and mama will search as long as she loves.